All right, I think we're live. Going to check on my phone, see if we are. This is going to be vlog number 1. Something I'd like to start doing on a weekly basis, or on some consistent basis, I should say. Pardon me while I look for my live and see if everything's coming through the way I would like. And it looks like it is. So where we're at is, I want to talk to you today about a couple things. First one was this using wireguard for a VPN, and it works pretty good. I use it on cellular, and then it ties into a few other things which allow me to use some software that I really like, and it keeps things out of web pages. It actually protects against malware is what I'm trying to do. It will actually force my phone to use the Quad 9 DNS. Quad 9 DNS, let's see if we can pull that up real quick. So what Quad 9 DNS does for us is it actually provides some privacy. So when you use your provider's cellular network, if you were just browsing on the internet, that's not right. If you were just browsing on the internet, what would happen is you could go to anywhere. You could get malware. You could get malware on your computer, things like that. So by going through Quad 9, they actually stream for, or they not stream, they check for the malware, they check for bogus, they check for phishing links and various other things. So you don't have to be afraid that if you clicked on a link, let's say you open up something on Facebook, somebody says, hey, here's a news story about politics or viruses or basketball stars, it could be anything, and you click on it. Sometimes you don't know what is malware, what's not. So in theory, the Quad 9 screens for that and it will protect it. So the way you would do it is you would put this DNS server in here, which is 9.9.9.9, and because of that, that's why they call it Quad 9s. Now, Quad 9 is a non-profit organization. They get sponsors from many people, and they wanted to start this, and they're on a movement to try and get this integrated into companies. So if you work for a big corporation, they're trying to sell this, or not sell this, but they're trying to get these corporations even to use this DNS. They tie into many security services that give their data, give their security data, so that's how they get the list of malware sites and phishing sites. And so it works really good so far. And so what I did was I found this guy here. He's got, let me go up to the top. He's got a script out there that sets up wireguard and installs the other required software to tie into Quad 9. And so that's on GitHub, and the profile is Rajan Patel, RAJANNPATEL. So it's right here at the top. And so if you just do a search, you can find this in Google. Let's see where is the code? That's what I don't remember. Anyhow, there's a setup.exe, and that setup.exe, what it will do is it will actually download, and then it will install and configure WireGuard for you. And then you end up with a QR code that when you're on your phone, you're able to scan that QR code and add the WireGuard tunnel. Now this will work actually on your laptop at home. Also, I've not set it up there because I have this same setup on a Raspberry Pi running. So I don't need to go out to the cloud. I guess the real question is, why do I use Google Cloud Platform, which is how I'm doing it. If you were wondering, how would I do it? Well, I'm doing Google Cloud Platform, and actually the GitHub talks about how to do it, I believe, on a Raspberry Pi. Let's take a quick look. So yeah, I think this is I think you're able to install it on a Raspberry Pi. You'd have to check out the site, but what I'm using is I'm using the free usage tier on Google Cloud. And so why did I do that? Well, I did that because, well, number one, Google offers that at no charge. So that allows me to have a server in the cloud that's fully accessible from my phone. Remember, if I had a server like the Raspberry Pi that I do have at my house, it's not publicly available on the internet. And I certainly don't really want my house exposed to the internet without having to secure it. So by signing up for the Google Cloud Platform, what I'm able to do is use their server, which is publicly exposed on the internet, and then I'm able to install this software. So this is Google Cloud. When you go to the console, which I'm going to go here, and this should be my Unify test console, which, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and delete this machine and public IP, so as soon as I'm done with the video. But what I was working on is setting up Unify, because I'd like to have a Unify controller potentially in the cloud just to test it and see how it works. Right now my Unify controller is hosted on my Raspberry Pi also, but this would allow me to have my Unify controller also. I know I switched gears a little bit from the wireguard. So the wireguard setup is in my Google Cloud account, my personal Gmail account. This is a secondary Gmail account that I have, and I was just testing out Unify. And so what you're able to do is set up these server instances, and then they offer a web SSH client, or you can put in private public key pairs. There's information on how to do that, which will allow you to log in from your Windows desktop using things like PuTTY, or I use Cygwin, or right now I'm actually on I'm able to just type gcloud and boom, I get there. So that's that. The other thing I wanted to talk about, which is actually a very fun project, is this is going to be posted on my channel soon once I finish the video. But what I'm working on is this barbecue pit right here. So I found this on the curb across this at a neighbor's house, and it's pretty rusty. Let's see if we can get the picture of the rust. There you go. You can see the rust on there, and then I think I have another one, yeah, on the inside. And so it's well used, and it still worked. And what it had is on the right hand side right here, you had a propane grill. This is your charcoal grilling chamber or smoking chamber, and then this was your firebox. And you can see in the first picture, the firebox is currently offset, so it's lower than the meat chamber. So what I'm doing is I'm actually moving that to where it's in line, like you see here, and I'm working to convert this to a vertical smoker. I'm looking to replace my ugly drum smoker, which I made and I really like, but the thing that I don't like about my ugly drum is I don't have a door to add charcoal to the firebox. And the problem I've had is sometimes on longer smokes, like a brisket for example, the charcoal can burn out, and it's difficult because you have to remove all the meat to get to the charcoal. So what this will hopefully allow me to do is have a firebox accessible to me. So I have a friend with a welder. We're going to get this thing welded up. First job is to clean off the rust on the firebox and paint it so that when it does get welded together, the seam right here in the middle, this seam does not have, it's not rusty when it gets combined together. So that's the other fun project that's being worked on. And I guess lastly, what I have going on is, let's see if we can find it. So I'm installing some more Martin Jerry switches, which would be these guys here. And it's a Martin Jerry switch, so let's see if we can get the picture to expand. There we go. So it's a switch right here. We're going to put those into the bathroom with a motion sensor so that the lights will go on and off automatically. What happens in the bathroom in the hallway is generally it tends to have a light left on, or a vent gets turned on and forgotten. So the switches combined with the motion sensor will allow me to turn things off after a set period of time. I may or may not have the light come on automatically with the motion sensor, but I'm definitely going to have it set to turn off after a set period of time, because I've had cases where I leave for the day and come back 10 hours later and the light's still on. And I know that today's modern LEDs don't use very much power, but you try and save where you can. So the biggest thing that consumes power is the vent, but it also can impact the air conditioning or heating because you're sucking air out and blowing it to the outside. So I think that's it. That's all I have for today. I thank you for joining. Make sure to click the like button or subscribe. We'll be having more of these, and I'll keep you updated on the projects. Like I said, this was mainly a test to see how things go, and we'll go from there. So thank you for joining, and have a great day.